Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint, and this could actually be the biggest PlayStation announcement that we've had in years, and it's not good news. So Sony has officially confirmed that from January 2028, every brand new PlayStation game will be digital only. Now that means no more discs, no more physical copies. If a game launches after that date, you will only be able to buy it digitally. Now before everyone starts panicking, this does not mean your current collection suddenly stops working. Every physical game that's already out and every game before January 2028 is obviously completely unaffected. But after that, that is it. Physical media games are effectively over according to PlayStation. Now, it's one of those things that we kind of expected was coming anyway. With all of those collector's editions that we've seen over the years, like Spider-Man 2 and Ghost of Yotei, they only launched with a digital code in the box and no physical media. And then I suppose only a couple of weeks ago, GTA 6 pre-orders went live, and that confirmed that it was digital only. Even if you bought the physical game, it was still coming with a digital code. I assume then that PlayStation have looked at that hype and thought, do you know what, let's just kill physical media altogether. Now, according to Sony on their blog, it says this comes down to changing consumer habits. And I kind of agree with that. They say that more people are buying games digitally than ever before, and they want to focus their resources on how the majority of players actually access games today. They also mention that you will still be able to buy digital games through both the PlayStation Store and retailers, so stores like Amazon and Game here in the UK are not disappearing from the equation altogether. They will just be selling download codes instead of boxes with discs. Now, as I say, we kind of expected this was coming because the PS5 launched with a digital edition. Sony, of course, did make the disc drive optional if you wanted to buy this with a Slim. The PS5 Pro, well, that doesn't come with a disc drive at all. Again, you need to add this on if you want it. PlayStation then keeps pushing subscriptions, and digital sales have been growing every single year. So as I say, it's one of those things that we kind of expected, but to actually see Sony confirm this is a pretty big deal. But the interesting thing is, what does this actually mean for us gamers? Well, if you're somebody who buys digital games already, honestly, this change means absolutely nothing to you. You probably haven't inserted a disc in your PS5 for years. But if you're like me and you enjoy collecting games, buying steelbooks, picking up bargains from the supermarket, trading your games with friends, or just selling them once you finish them, this is a pretty big deal. I'm just actually thinking that stores like CEX here in the UK, or the second-hand market, basically disappears for PlayStation as soon as January 2028 comes around. And then another thing worth talking about is ownership. But when you buy a physical game, you've actually got something to actually hold and something that you own. You can lend it out, you can sell it, you can display it on a shelf, and obviously you can keep this forever. But then when it comes to digital games, well, you're buying a license to those games. And as we've seen in the past, when the servers go down or your PlayStation account is hacked, well, you've lost your entire library of games. And that's because these games are tied to your PlayStation account. Now, I would like to say that before anybody says digital games last forever, well, yes, they kind of do. You can obviously re-download those purchases and they will always remain in your library, but it's never guaranteed. We have seen digital games do get removed from the stores. We've also seen digital games have even been removed from your libraries when they decide to close the servers. Now, we've only got to look at some of the games within the last year, and these games are disappearing from our own PS5s. And then we've got to think about the pricing, because this could become interesting as well. Because one of the biggest advantages of physical games is the competition. Whether that's you buying it from a local store or from Amazon, you can usually buy it a lot cheaper than you would buy a digital version. But if the PlayStation Store is the only place that you can buy a digital game from, the chances are these are going to get a little bit more expensive on launch day. And that's because without discs, Sony has far more control over pricing. Even third-party resellers are still going to be selling digital codes. Now, of course, there are some obvious positives as well, because when it comes to digital gaming, there's no swapping discs, there's instant downloads, you can preload every game, there's no damage or lost discs, and I think for a lot of people, digital is just simpler. And clearly, Sony does believe that the majority of their players are digital only, hence the reason for kind of killing the physical discs altogether. But the biggest worry is, what does this mean for the PlayStation 6? Well, this announcement starts in January 2028, so let's just assume that the PS6 is going to launch around the same time, possibly slightly after that. It's kind of starting to make a little bit more sense now that the PS6 is clearly going to be a digital-only console. And don't forget, this won't just affect the first-party games like God of War and The Last of Us, this is affecting every single game that launches on PlayStation. So take Call of Duty and Battlefield, Need for Speed games, and any other game that you would normally see across the PS5, PC, and Xbox. But seeing that blog post today on the PlayStation website, it has kind of shocked me. I totally understand that they might want to kill the physical media, but at least give us a choice. For those of us who like to collect discs, that option has completely been removed now. Now, I think from a business perspective, digital games seem to make more money and make a lot more sense. There's no manufacturing, no shipping, no retailer cut, and don't forget, it also means that nobody can actually leak the game early if they're all locked behind a digital store. But as someone who's been collecting PlayStation games for years, it does feel like the end of an era. You won't be able to walk into a shop on launch day, pick up a collector's edition with a disc, line your shelves with games that you've completed, and I would say that's been one of the biggest things of PlayStation for almost 30 years. But then in 18 months it will kind of be no more. Now, I'm actually really interested to hear what you guys think. Are you even bothered by the fact that physical media will be no more? Or are you already a 100% digital only gamer? But seriously guys, let me know down in the comments. Does this news affect you? Now normally I would say leave a comment down below if you enjoyed today's video, but I don't think anybody's going to. So how about leave a comment down below if you made it this far into the video, and I'll give you a thumbs up for staying right till the end. And if you did enjoy today's video, please check out this video next. As always, thanks for watching, please like, subscribe and follow me everywhere. Until next time.